are logging roads that run the entire area of this property. Here's a spring coming down the mountain right here. Like I said, we counted at least 7 springs on this property. This is just one of the many ravines on this property that run down between all of those beautiful fields that you see on the video. There's our ridge line over to the left. Logging road again, back down through the same ravine. And we're back up to the top road. Still in the ravine, just higher up in the first one. Ridge line up to our left where the more navigable roads are. Here's a little pond that's fed by this spring that comes down from the left here. Again, all of the cover wildlife could want in here. And it's all kinds of trees for tree stands, deer blinds, you name it. So many easily navigable logging roads on this property. Still a lot of timber on this property. Hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. Now we go deeper down into another ravine as we move over toward the east side of the property. At one time, people lived down in here. There's an old cabin, and look at the chimney. Gorgeous stonework in that chimney. We're going to cut right through the thicket here. Continue on past this little swampy area right here, again full of water. This whole place, because of the way it's shaped, is just full of ponds and springs. Right through the water and on up the logging road we go. You could hunt here for an entire hunting season and probably never hunt the same place twice. Easily could come in here with a group of hunters and enjoy a nice day, get plenty of distance between you. You can hunt on the ground, you can hunt in the trees. And again, just like the ridge roads that you see on the drone that are extremely easy to navigate, these roads that go through these ravines are traveling in the same direction, except they're just down in the woods and down in the ravines. We're going to come out at the exact same place that those upper level roads come out. Absolutely gorgeous day, gorgeous piece of property. You're only about 15 minutes from Princeton, West Virginia. You are about 15 minutes from the Virginia state line in Giles County, Virginia. Now we go back up, looking back down at where we just came from. Four-wheelers having no trouble traversing this property. You can see how the two hills come together here in the ravine. It goes down between them. And we're going to come out right up here in just a second into one of those beautiful fields that you saw on the drone video. Extremely easy how we went from one side of this property to the other on the logging roads down through the valley. You could ride horses on this property very easily. Here we come through the opening, back out into one of the upper fields. And as we turn toward the west, head up to the knoll here on this field, as we look toward the south, you can see East River Mountain. This is one of the most majestic views on the entire property. One of the most majestic views on the entire property as we look back toward the south at East River Mountain, which runs southwest and forms the East River Mountain Tunnel on Interstate 77. Again, as we look to the south, these fields are cut for hay, of course. They had livestock and cattle on these fields at one time, but they are now just cut for hay and cleared. There are several areas on this property where food plots have been installed. We see tons of deer every time we come up here. This would be an absolutely gorgeous area to hunt, to travel to and vacation to, build a cabin here and just hang out. Views are breathtaking as we look back to the east in Monroe County, West Virginia, and Giles County, Virginia. What an absolutely gorgeous day and a gorgeous piece of property. Again, majestic is the main word that comes to the forefront of my mind when I look at this view. And what a wonderful opportunity this is going to be for someone to own this amazing piece of land here in Mercer County. Now we're going to turn and go back through this field to the field it's connected with. The ridge that you see through these trees is also part of the property, and we will be riding those trails later on in the video. Look to the left, you can see another field through that thicket of woods. That's one of the fields that was above us as we were down in the ravine riding through the logging trails. All of these fields, these three fields, are connected by very easily navigable roadways and spaces. Here's a little pond here. Man, I just can't get enough. I believe that this barn is chestnut, and most of your logging roads converge here. You could use this spot to convert this to a hunting cabin and use the existing structure as the foundation for that cabin. There is electricity on this property. It is down the hill from where we are, but you could set a generator up here and easily house a group full of hunters in this cabin, or in this space. What a wonderful old, what I think is a chestnut barn. We are now one road lower than the elevation of the barn. We're going to head out this ridge here back to the east. That was fun. There's another spring coming down off the hill to the left. we will be coming back in just a minute and heading up this steep ridge and going to the top of the property that you see right here in front of us. For now, we're going to go stay on the same level and bear to the right and keep heading east out the ridge. So when we get out to the edge of this trail, we will be looking back across the ravine at those beautiful fields that had the great view of East River Mountain. Slight roadblock here. Four-wheeler should go right around it. Again, can't stress enough how easy it is to get to different parts of this property on an ATV. You could have a blast out here just riding four-wheelers. This is basically going to terminate right up here. So we're going to spin around and back up into the woods and head back the other direction. As we head back out of this trail, again, if you look to your left, as we are, there are those lovely fields over there with the ravine below. There are so many places on this property. As a hunter myself, you basically have your deer in a turkey shoot, in a triangulation. When they come up through these ravines to drink from these springs, you can get above them and get good leverage on them, especially for bow hunting. Now we're going to come up here, straighten up and head up the steep trail to the top. Here we go. Bingo. And it just flattens out, plateaus out up here. A few humps in the road. But how easy is this if you're a hunter? Just to continue to climb an elevation on an ATV. We probably just went 100 feet up with little effort. Here's a great look at the fields below and over to our right, back toward the southwest. Again, this is only the east side of this property. We still have the west side. It's a smaller area, but we still have the western side of the property still yet to show you. About that view. If I'm not mistaken, right here we are at one of the highest points on the entire property. I hope you can see this. Altitude app says 3,001 feet. 3,001 feet, and I think we're at one of the high. We're not at the highest point on the property. You have to get there by foot. but it's not far away, and we're at 3,001 feet above sea level. Take me home, country roads. Now we're headed back down that same steep slope we came up to get to the top of that hill. Now we're going to head up another logging road here, which I think will take us roughly to the same elevation that the other one did. This is at the T, or the fork, where we came down off of the hill from the steep road. Now heading back toward the west of the property.